Got it. So, hi everyone. Now we're recording, right? So the proposed context for this session is kind of initial ideation around a possible logistics or last mile delivery or kind of a delivery coordination hub or platform or modules. And I'm saying all those because I don't have clarity of like what's the best way of conceiving such endeavor. And the initial motivation, at least from my side, why to bring up this topic, is that I'll share a link. We're working with Free Circle, and let me share that. And it's a group which is working on several projects in different areas related to sustainability. And the founder also was a founder of a green and clean energy company, and kind of looking at kind of a visionary projects. And one of the projects that is that he's working on, or we're working on, is in Liechtenstein. It's a farmers marketplace, online farmers marketplace, which is helping connect the local farmers and local people, and kind of help them get the fresh produce, and also shield the farmers from the big retail, the pressure of the big retail markets, right? So like shifting towards more community-based model. And currently HofCorp is still in a centralized version, in a commercial version, but it's getting shifted towards a cooperative model and cooperative legal form. And one of the intentions is to actually start like ideating and hopefully prototyping some kind of credit-based currency. But the HofCorp in the basic and initial form is already running, functioning. It's serving like 60 farmers, I think, and a lot of consumers in the Liechtenstein Valley. And one of the problems, or one of the pain points, is actually local last mile delivery. So now there is still kind of a centralized storage place, which is and there is a few cars that are, I think, owned by the HofCorp, and sometimes people just offer delivery, but there is no like comprehensive delivery platform. And there were some experiments with implementing actually centralized like API-based platform for actually coordinating the offers of the rides and the actually delivery. But now shifting towards thinking in like Holochain or Web3, Holochain flavored contexts. The idea is, could we actually start developing some set of modules or zones or a hub that could serve for such kind of this kind of contexts? And since the Free Circle is actually now speaking with one established kind of centralized delivery coordination service, which is kind of providing the algorithms and the marketplace of the rides, so you can like add your requests for delivery, and the drivers can pick it up and they can auction it. So there can be like some kind of market in a sense, or auction for the rights. Yes, but this is like possible implementation details. I guess this is not necessarily what we need to speak about. But this is I guess the context for me personally. And just to clarify a bit more, what we'd like to do is to start ideating around a pilot, which could be used with the HofCorp, and fund development. But the modules should be open sourced. But what we'd also like to ideate around would be a funding model. So for example, if such platform or part of it became, let's say, a white label distributed thing that a municipality could use, or some other actor, and different let's say marketplaces or people in the region could be using it or plug into it. So how could this be conceived of? So I guess this is another layer. This is a layer of funding or governance, or like what could the package look like, and yeah, so I guess this is a bit different than the architecture part. And in the Discord, I put some tentative like proposals or ideas of what we could discuss or in what order, but this is like very much first idea, and I think if anyone has ideas how to structure the session or what we could talk about first and next, then that would be very welcome. Or if you have any questions at this point, yeah, so feel free to. And I've shared my Miraboard link if you wanted to record or use it to capture the ideas.
Jacob, before any activity in this Disco Miro, if you would like to see the progress in Miro or something, you can share your screen that anybody also can see the things happening in Miro. It is just suggestion, up to you. Totally.
Okay, great. And I can also share my screen for a bit to like share the document that we are working on with the Free Circle. I cannot share it yet publicly, but I will distill some version so we can have kind of the initial context. But I can share it now so we can look into it. Let's see. So desktop share. So can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so this is the initial like framing or initial framing of the problem, kind of delivery platform for the coordination of different regional needs or like delivery needs. This is just some alternatives described, some of them from the Czech context, and some of the like limits and problems. And one of those which is not mentioned here yet is also kind of the gig economy problem, which some of the centralized delivery platforms are kind of causing, which is putting pressure on the individual delivery people and kind of squeezing them out. And so if there could be a way that this platform could be actually made more local or perhaps cooperatively owned or in somehow offered as a distributed service, yeah, that I guess that there can be many different models. So this could also help. And so this is the initial kind of sketch of the goals. And this is just bear in mind, this is drafts, right? So this will be developed and refined. But it's kind of creation of decentralized peer-to-peer marketplaces to unlock local resources and delivery. There is the word bioregion, which can be like one of the targeted kinds of regions, but this is again, this is kind of provisionary or temporary. Yeah. So this is just some sketches of what could be, well, the business model is used. I don't like the term that much. I guess better term might be way of funding or governance or like organizing. But here we are speaking about the business model because this document will be used tomorrow. We'll be actually speaking with one of the biggest centralized, but still kind of open-minded platforms about possibly using their parts of their solution or code. So the language is a bit tailored to those. And here's a very brief sketch of the possible like building stones or the modules, right? So which would be part is like the marketplace of the offers for delivery or requests for delivery, the app for the driver, like route planning algorithms or service, which is kind of doing the computation optimization, some kind of package tracking, and then the layer of transactions or payments, and some kind of governance module. And it's very much possible that the modules might be structured differently. It's also possible that that there will be different modules. And what is still, I guess, unclear, and this might be a part of the discussion at some point today, is what parts or what modules would be good to be built on Holochain, and which ones are perhaps better to leave centralized, or what could be the interfacing. And also perhaps if there is some like elementary submodules that could be used to also enrich the Holochain or ecosystem, or kind of used as a primitives. And I guess a big question for us, at least, is possible integration with Holofuel, because we'd like, I guess, since this might have bigger ambition, like to be used in different contexts and perhaps in wider scale. So perhaps that it could also help the Holofuel ecosystem, and the Holofuel might be perhaps a way of the payment layer. But yeah, I guess this is again some questions that are part of the questions that are coming up. So yeah, so I guess this is yeah, this is some of the initial sketches and questions. So yeah, please feel free to ask or suggest what and how we could proceed.
This is looking really nice. Could you tell a bit the story? Because I know that what you're doing in Free Circle has a big context and has a lot of interrelated components and so on. So for me, at least, it would help me if you could tell the story of like maybe one farmer and one delivery guy and one recipient, I guess. So what's that story or that transact, like, it's not, I don't know if it's a transaction or like that story, if you could like to limit a bit the scope, right?
You mean a business flow or the workflow of the team, or the also? Yes, great question. I would love to hear.
Okay, so this is I will focus it on the HofCorp, which is the marketplace, because Free Circle is kind of an umbrella organization, which is that there's a lot of different other projects. But with the HofCorp scenario, so as of now, there's this kind of online web page where, yeah, it's actually in German. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have access to the backend, but anyways, so we can try it like this. So you as a farmer, you can be putting your products, product offers with some specific, I don't know, pricing and expiry dates, and etc. And then there is, as a consumer or as a customer, you can pick kind of a basket of products, and you can also set some regular products like delivery, like for example, oh, we want some every week, or so there can be kind of cycles, or like periodic deliveries. And then this is still like processed through a centralized platform. So the HofCorp platform is actually reaching to Go Delivery, which is the kind of logistics API, well, logistics platform, or the APIs, and which are then putting the offers on some kind of internal like marketplace of the routes, which have some parameters. So for example, you are specifying how big is the order, or when it needs to be delivered, and I guess some kind of price considerations. But unfortunately, I don't have the specific data, but I can, like, data structures or flows, but I can obtain those. Actually, I can. This is, yeah, I guess this is internal, because that's the platform we are, or the Free Circle is kind of speaking about acquiring, but this is their internal architecture of the kind of logistics modules. So the offers get processed in this, and then the drivers get which have their app, so they get notified of possible like suitable things to deliver. And what next? Yeah, I know this is not so precise, but the HofCorp is interfacing with the centralized Go Deliver API, which is doing the computations and kind of the road planning,
Mm.
and sending back the, let's see, yeah, sending back like the offers to the couriers. And what is not here is the layer of fees, because that's, I guess that's, yeah, I'm not sure where this is getting processed, but I think it's not actually getting processed because it's part of the HofCorp kind of marketplace, but now it should be kind of decoupling, I think, because there could be different HofCorps or couriers, or even, for example, and that's perhaps with a question mark, but that was one of the ideas, that if there are, for example, Volt couriers which are having idle time,
Yeah.
they already in Czech, this platform had some integration, so actually they can be notified, and there is some like small fee to Volt for something like that. But this is, I guess, like very specific use case, which is just opening up the possible interoperability or integrations. But I'm not sure if what I'm saying is answering your question, Gail.
Yeah, so let me try to tell back what I'm hearing and what the scope of today's conversation should be about. So basically, I'm a farmer, right? And I want some vegetables delivered to this consumer. I know, right? So I, as a farmer, know the consumer, right? And I know where I want the delivery to be arriving at, right? Is that right?
Okay, so let's see.
Jacob, in the meantime, if you can, because in the box of the zone here is a black. If you can remove the box of zone like a chat, it would be fantastic.
You mean this one?
Yes.
Yep.
And the upper
Okay.
one.
Okay.
And
Cool.
so you have another one at the top right. Yes.
No.
Yeah.
I don't see anything else here overlaying my screen, so yeah, not sure.
It's okay. That one doesn't take that much space. Okay, now.
Yes.
Okay,
cool. Oh, now it's back.
Yeah.
What did you do?
So I don't know what it is, because I just minimized all my windows and then just opened up the mirror, but I guess that's some, I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Nice.
Okay, yeah, so that was first question. Like, the farmer, does the farmer know the consumer? The end consumer.
So so farmer should be kind of the most of the logistics. Well, I guess this is kind of the question related to transitioning from a centralized model to decentralized model.
Yep.
Because in this case, now when it's centralized, so the HofCorp is doing the actual HofCorp kind of platform has the addresses of the, so the farmer is just, the platform is kind of minimizing the administration and logistics the farmer needs to do. So the farmer doesn't need to know the address of the consumer.
Right.
And the platform is actually doing this.
Right.
But then, like, shifting towards actually more decentralized version, I guess that's a good question. Like, how is the but still, I guess there can be like that. Can be the decentralized marketplace where the farmer doesn't need to know any details. He just receives the request from a person to order some kind of produce, which is mediated through, like, I think it can look very similar to the centralized marketplace, right? Even though it is decentralized, but there's like an offer placed or an order placed. So the farmer just fulfills and confirms. Yeah, so I guess that's already the questions related to the like possible architecting.
No, but I'm already picturing it in my head. So actually, there are two matching problems here. One is the matching of farmer to consumer, So which consumer needs which vegetables from which farmers, right? That's one matching problem. And then the other matching problem is, given that these deliveries need to happen, match delivery with rider.
Yeah, and I guess this is kind of decoupling those two, because if we are focusing on just the logistics module, then I guess it should be decoupled from the actual marketplace, because it doesn't need to be farmers. It can be any kind of people putting their offers or requests for delivery.
Yeah.
So there could be some bridging or API or I don't know, like what is, yeah.
That's really cool, because that actually means that you could have the first one in centralized form and the second one in decentralized form. If needed, like in the transition, or I am not sure, but farmer to consumer is maybe the hardest actually, because you have like I think it's the biggest problem than the delivery one. So having like, I'm imagining a DHT per neighborhood or per village or per whatever, and different services can post their requests there, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really nice. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then as a rider, I don't really care what I'm delivering, other than it being like a humongous thing, right? But those would be requirements for the ride. I don't really care about what I'm delivering. I can deliver for all different kinds of things. And then that's integrated not out of the box, but really easily into all sorts of services.
Yeah, and I
like
guess there
restaurants,
can be then,
whatever.
And I guess there can then be like sort of customization that, for example, the marketplace has different kind of package parameters, or perhaps kind of frequencies or stuff that can, like, different profile of the requests for the delivery service. But I guess then that's yeah, that's another question to just have in mind in late, I guess, for later stages.
Yeah, for me that looks like the delivery DHT being called from the marketplace service, with maybe some, like, every week this many times. Right, so actually the riders, you actively don't want the delivery platform to know about every Wednesday. Like, no, that's not what you want as a rider. What you want is, hey, I don't care that you have to deliver this vegetable every Friday. I like, do you need it this Friday or not? Right?
Yeah.
Or maybe if the answer to that question is yeah, we do want that kind of information, maybe the answer is different, but the simplistic version is like that, I think.
Yeah.
Amazing. I'm getting a clearer picture in my head. Does anyone have any comments or input, or how are you feeling, Jakub?
Yeah, yeah, please, anyone, if you have questions, inputs that.
Yeah, I didn't get something about the just about the Friday. Does the rider need to know just for it? The delivery is not the real-time delivery every day, so it means you mean something like a planning for delivery? I didn't get here.
Yeah, so like, from the perspective, I guess in the easiest or in the initial form, the simple form, the drivers don't need to know. They just get the delivery requests. So the planning is done by the platform. So this is kind of yeah, not yeah, I guess that's, I just wrote it down, like, in case there was this special thing, like that some driver would want to or love to be driving every Friday to the grandma or something like that. But I guess that's very outlierish.
And right now the zones are producer, farmer, agent who are purchasing something, and delivery, yes. And what about the marketplace? Who is the marketplace holder? It is another space or it is another zone? I don't see where is the marketplace. Who is holding the marketplace?
That's a good question. I guess, well, as we are discussing this, so in the initial pilot use case, this would be, I guess, free circle, because that would be like implementing it with the Hof Corp. But then if it should be like really more towards decentralization, then the kind of owner or steward of the hApp would be someone or an organization from the region. But I'm not sure if that's the question you were asking. Yeah.
I like, what I got a sense is that that's not the scope for today. Am I right? Like the scope for today is the delivery one?
Sorry, I got confused like with the marketplace, because I got confused with like marketplace for the route offers, right? Because that's also a kind of marketplace where the drivers can choose. Yeah, if there's 6 drivers, they can get like they can see the offer and they can choose, okay, I am driving, I'm taking this, for example, and that can be the layer of kind of, oh, and I can do this for this price. So there can be like a well, it's not a competition. In a sense, it's an auction that can help optimize the stuff. But so that's what I thought you mean by marketplace.
No, actually, I asked because it is my question that there is a marketplace. I can see some vegetables from different farmers. So I can select that. Then it's going to be behind the scene, maybe start a process and workflow for delivery. So it's gonna come to me. So what is the, who is responsible to take care of my address? It means I need to pay, marketplace knows everything about me and reading from my profile and sending the order and the position of the order to the delivery, and the delivery can receive the data from marketplace. Hey, bring these materials to this address with this name, or it is giving them delivery that, hey, go and ask this identity about his or her information with this one. You know, it was the main question. Is there any center main role? Who is responsible for the main role of the the whole process?
Yeah, I guess intuitively this is also related to the extent of decentralization. So far it is the marketplace which is holding the addresses and the kind of the IDs, and it's just sending the request to the API. Hey, there is this address and this package. You don't even need to know the name or stuff. Just, hey, just this is the route you can be taking, and this is some parameters. So but I guess like, and I'm not sure, but if it was more towards decentralization, whether there would be like just reference to an identity of the customer who would be sharing his address, I'm not sure, because that's kind of asking the question of the profiles and identities right within the system.
So go ahead.
Okay, cool. So, am I right to assume that for now we can, from the two matching problems, farmer to consumer, delivery to rider, we can focus on the second one, right? For today.
Yeah, yeah.
And have the market for now, like assume a centralized market, making calls to that DHT. Right? And then if in the future we replace the market with another DHT, that's totally fine as well.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So I really like this decoupling. It makes it really clean, the separation of concerns and the swapping of the market for a farmer to consumer is really clean as well. If that would be a possibility in the future. Cool.
And I guess perhaps, sorry, one more thing. Just also to like in the zooming out, because it seems that there would need to be, or there might be kind of 3 layers of governance in a sense, right? Because there is governance is not the right word, but let's say that the free circle is kind of stewarding the development of some of those modules, and for example wants to use one in Liechtenstein, and like part of the, let's say, business model of the co-op would be free circle is helping maintain the the specific regional thingy, so it's getting some small fee in Holofuel from the transactions, and then there is the layer of the HofCorp or marketplaces that are using the platform. Yes, so I'm just like, because for example, if different project than Liechtenstein stuff wanted to deploy the platform, there would probably need to be some individual or organization in the region who would be stewarding the platform under some conditions, and he would be also doing their own maintenance to some extent, but still there needs to be maintenance and development of the whole like thingy, right? So that would be, I don't know, the Holochain community or free circle or some combination, but this is kind of the possible field to explore also in relation to Holofuel and how the fair and just funding might be looking like. But that's, I guess, a bit different question than the architecture, but just to know the context, right?
Yeah, I even like when I started to get the use case, I am like, hey, this is really, really good for having an asset-backed mutual credit in which each credit it's a mile or it's a kilometer. Like it fits really well. And then you have reserve accounts that can convert between that credit and Holofuel, for example. So if you, hey, do you need something delivered here? Send Holofuel here. You're going to receive this currency and you can pay your rider with this currency. But like,
yeah, and I guess like it would be great if the Holofuel could be actually the medium that could possibly interconnect more of those. So it's kind of drawing in apps or marketplaces and kind of incentivizing them to to use the Holo hosting network also.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So should we, I'm already feeling quite complete to go into the architecture of that DHT.
And I guess perhaps the question before that is what modules or what aspects of such service or platform should be on Holochain? Because what I'm still not clear about, for example, is that if there is some place which is kind of computing and optimizing the pathways, whether this is actually a Holochain or that would be a centralized API, and if so, like, yeah, because in my mind, I'm not yet very clear about how this could actually look on Holochain, whether it's even a viable thing, or whether the Holochain modules should be more just about the transactions, and yeah. So that's what I'm very foggy and unclear
Right.
about.
Yeah. So, okay, what I would say is that these kinds of matching problems, if I remember correctly, my college education, are NP hard, which is like the most difficult kind of problems. Kadaya, you're smiling. Not sure if that rings bells, whatever. And this, like, depending on the input size, it can be amazingly slow, right? So I'm not sure which of these components is genetics, algorithm planner. Yeah, okay. Insertion, yeah, those are the kind of things that you need to be doing, right? And most likely you're not going to find the perfect solution. You're going to find an imperfect solution that works. Okay, enough, right? Maybe this is interesting. Maybe if we have a granular enough DHTs, as in this is the DHT for my village, and then all the computations are done only with the riders of my village, that's an input size much smaller. And you get benefits because the computation is faster. You also get disadvantages because you don't have that many riders, right? And maybe there are some gaps. Anyway, my first sense is that not everyone should be doing this kind of computation, right? It would be a bit awkward to do this kind of computation at like every n minutes, because this is a computation that could take minutes, quite some minutes. So
yeah, and I guess that was kind of the value proposition of the Go Deliver platform, that it was doing those computations more efficiently through their genetic algorithms. So I guess this could stay a centralized module in some form and somehow interface with the hub. But again, this is my unclarity, like how this would be about.
yeah, that could be a solution, although it could be integrated in Holochain as well, I think. But I'm not sure, like, not that much clarity. If I was to design this, I would say, let's do a holochain based approach that doesn't scale at all, just to get the feel of it. And let's see where we run into problems, right? So these kinds of solutions will work well when you have 10 riders. It's like the computation will be instant. When you have 100 riders, maybe not so much. And when you have 1,000, no, it won't be instant, right? So I would start developing for 10 and just play around and so on. And it can be like the computation can be as silly as get me the first driver, assign it. That's it, right? Like that's the part that I have the most uncertainty also. Like I'm like you. And for this, I will leave at the end. That's me. You're muted, Jacob.
Yeah, I agree. And this is, I think that's great to like really just play and get a feel for non-scalable version, and then perhaps see where would be the ideal layer and for computation, and its kind of position in relation to the other parts.
And I can even imagine a Holochain app that's a lot of services. Sorry, like a lot of companies doing this service, and that's not Free Circle. That's not like that's some computer science university creates this application in which they have servers, and you give the server a hard problem and it solves it for you, and you pay them like that. I'm imagining like in the really long term that could be a that could emerge in the Holochain ecosystem as well. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Nice. Because the nice thing about this kind of matching problems is that Yes, they are hard, but they are also not interoperable, but reducible to each other a lot of times, right? So if you solve for matching between riders and deliveries, it's actually not that different from a matching of the farmers to the consumers. Like at the end of the day, it's a many-to-many back problem. Anyway, I'm going a bit off rail.
Yeah.
All of this to say, I would table this for the future, and let's talk about all the other stuff today.
Yeah, great. So if we look in the, so yeah, what do you think? What would be the good like place to discuss now? Would it be the architecture parts or the considerations around like kind of accounting or the architecture overall, like whether it's zones or like a hub or yeah, what do you think might be a productive point to
Right.
start?
So I'm imagining a DNA, right? And it's almost more important to think of it as a DNA instead of an application itself, because in this DNA, what you need is to aggregate all the offers for delivery and all the riders, right? And it needs to be one DNA to do appropriately the matching, right?
What are the matching parameters? Do you know right now?
The matching parameters. I don't actually know what is the kind of optimization. Yeah, I'm not sure. I can actually try finding that out. When you say matching parameters,
like who are closer or who are about the distance, about rating, reputation. It's the things I'm asking. It means that when you are going to match and find driver, maybe you say, okay, GM is in around the Barcelona, so any driver about the location. Or maybe I would say, hey, please bring it with the most safest or most trustable driver. So the fast is important to me, safe is important to me. So time is important, delivery time. So I need to receive it at evening. I'm just at home at evening. So who is there to deliver the box to Hidayat or GM or Matic? Anybody at evening time, at night time. I'm just at home on Sunday, for example. And that's why I'm asking the parameters.
Yeah, okay. So I do not know. And I guess this would be also specific to the type of organization or marketplace or like what are, but yeah, I'm not sure. But I guess this should like allow for if this should be kind of open source white labelish thing, then it should allow for wide parameter customization. But yeah, I'm not sure actually.
I'm thinking that there's actually two main approaches that you could go about doing this. And one is more top down and the other is more bottom up. And maybe the bottom up one is enabled by Holochain. So let's see. What I'm thinking is you could do the matching as a computation, which is what the centralized delivery service does right now, which is, okay, get me all the deliveries that need to happen and get me all the riders and match. But there could be another way, which is I, as the sender of the package, I am present inside the DHT, inside this DHT, and I say, hey, I need this delivered. And the first person that asks me, okay, I want to deliver this for you, am I a good fit for you? Right? So imagine, Jakub, you want to send something to Hedayat, and I'm a rider, right? And Jakub, you can say, okay, I care about speed, I care about the delivery time, I care about whatever. And I come to you and I say, Jakub, I see you want this delivered to this guy, whatever. I can deliver it. Is it okay if I deliver it? And you say, no, Guillem is too ugly. And I care about people being beautiful, so Guillem's not going to do it, right? And the first agent that that comes to you and says, hey, I could do it, and you say, okay, he checks all the boxes, then that's the one that gets accepted, right?
It's going to be something like Uber format, yes? It means it is no guarantee that the driver who is going to select which box is going to take and deliver, or no, sorry, offer is going to select, yes?
What I'm talking about is much more agent based, as in Jakub can reject whatever they want based on whatever they see fit. What you're saying is more the first approach, the top down I mentioned.
Okay. In that case, if there is no request from nobody, what Jakub's supposed to do?
And I guess there is this, again, kind of dependence on the nature of the use case, because, for example, in the farmers case, the farmers will probably need a very, like, the less interaction needed from their side, the better. Therefore, there can be some preset profile. But there might be use cases when someone really wants to actually handpick someone. But otherwise, like, one mechanisms that might be intended or used is the auction. So the parameter would be price, one of the parameters. So the driver actually puts, okay, I'm willing to deliver this in this price range. And then so the app then like gives it to the one that pays the most, for example. But that's, I guess that's like just one parameter.
Let me ask you this: if the what do the farmers do? As in, do the farmers carry over the vegetables to some central place, and then riders go and pick that up, or do riders go directly to the farmer's store?
So there is three options now. In the centralized version, the delivery actually is completing the offers in a central store, and then it's going to the people. But that's the centralized version as of now. One of the intentions is to actually get off with the centralized storage, but then there is kind of a middle step, because one of the big value propositions of this delivery service is that it actually should allow so-called Hofladen, which is selling from the garden of the farmers. So they do not need to have those like hygiene standards they would need if they were kind of like selling it from a market. Like so they're just so if you are able to actually decouple. So for example, there can be boxes where the farmers put the food either on their premises, or there can be actually boxes, which is part of what is being developed, kind of boxes in the different parts of the town, which can be used as kind of semi-small storage places. But I guess part of it is also just, yeah, I have this at home, please take it from me and deliver it somewhere.
I think it is the Amazon logistics. Amazon support both. If you want to sell something in Amazon, you have two options. Put all your stuff in Amazon repository. So Amazon is going to deliver it with the more better precise timing and also boxing, blah, blah, blah. If you want to sell something with your delivery, so it is another topic. So, and the logistic is here is you need to review some logistics to see which one would you like to implement actually first.
Yeah.
I think what would be a good way for us to continue right now is to assume the action mechanism, because I think that integrates pretty well, and explore that how would it look in that case. Because the an action, for example, it's in my mind it's a zone, right? Or even it's on VHC.
So sorry, Game, I didn't hear. You were saying action?
An auction.
Auction, okay. Auction, okay.
How do you pronounce it?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Some native English speaker in the room,
Yeah.
please. No one.
Matthias can help us.
I would say auction, but I'm also
Auction.
not natively English.
Okay, no, it's actually good. Like I like that no one is a native. Are you a native English speaker, Matthias? No. Okay, so no one.
No.
We should be speaking another language, not English. Like everyone speaking English. Let's try to speak what Esperanto.
By the way, I'm
Okay.
doing very chaotic recording of the stuff. So if anyone wanted to like rearrange the notes and make nicer structures, then feel very welcome.
Okay, cool. So in my mind, for example, the auction, that's a full flow, which is okay. You have someone that wants to do the auction, and then they ask the node. There needs to be a node that's responsible for the auction, and that node receives offers and then gives the result, right? So that's a pretty nice and packaged module, and that's a reusable module as well for Holochain community, for example. And that's most likely REA. Like everything that we are talking about really is REA, has to be REA. No, okay, not has to be REA based, but it fits really well with REA.
Oh, so the offers and stuff, that's actually primitives of ARIA, right? Also.
Yeah. So it would be
nice.
a proposed intent and then a commitment.
Sorry, it was proposed.
Yeah, proposed intent. That would be the offer.
Yeah.
And then the commitment is the rider committing to this delivery. Yeah. That's nice. So then let's assume that we are doing the auction pattern. Is that okay? So in my mind, it would be something like the farmer needs the delivery, so they tell some auctioning node, hey, do an auction for me about this. And the auctioning node maybe is operated by the service provider or someone has to do it. There may even be autonomous community provided nodes in some places, not sure. And then at that point, the farmer can pretty much forget about it. And the auctioning node takes responsibility for the auction, and then the riders do the auctioning, right? So they say, hey, I'm going to do this for this price or whatever. And then the auctioning node says, okay, this rider won,
Mhm.
and there is a commitment committed in the DHT,
Mhm.
right, for that. Maybe the auctioning pattern doesn't fit that well with the mutual credit asset back, because
Mhm.
then you're not like it, and maybe it's better this way, because maybe a mile ridden in the middle of the night, it's not the same as a mile ridden in ridden
Mhm.
that a rider does in the middle of the day, right? So
Mhm.
and that's also the mechanism that Hedayat was talking about, in the sense that if no one is there, then people will be attracted to do a small auction, and then
Mhm.
right, go up only as needed is if there are no other people.
Mhm.
Yeah, for those kind of thing you mentioned, riding midnight or in the snow or Sunday, there can be some trust, some multiplier. We can
Yeah,
say
yeah.
riding in winter is multiplied to riding when it is at the top of the hill, or I can offer, so the multiply to something like that.
Mhm.
That's good.
Yeah, and that's interesting because so let's see. So there would be the offers, and part of the offer would be a proposed, let's say, price or like range of how much I'm willing to pay or for the delivery, and the driver, let's say, driver puts like the offer of the price, they got matched, and the price is in some kind of units, which might be holofuel already, or like yeah, I guess that's a question, or if it would be in national computed in. I need to like review those.
And also you need to consider incentivize, because like Amazon, if I want to have a more fast delivery, I can pay €2 more. So maybe all of you, in addition to the mutual credit with the asset back, like the game mentioned, miles, it can be one option.
I guess this could be like really interesting deeper dive into the currency interactions discussion. Like the little off topic, small one. There is a book coming up from EXA, which is this. Yeah, is it reverse?
No, it's fine. Distributed Economic Space Agency for Designing Participation. Wow.
But what I really like about it, that they are actually proposing a framework, conceptual framework of how to talk about different currency design, which are spanning across credit-based currencies, but also tokens. And they are relating those, so they are actually thinking about them in a connected framework, which suddenly makes it easy to think about relation between mutual credit, staking, tokens, asset-backed credit, but like within one comprehensive framework. And it's really interesting how it clarifies stuff. So yes, so and they are actually like describing and showing how it can interact in the ledger, and how the exchange rates and units of accounts are they're computed, and it's like super interesting framework that can be applied to Holochain, because they use a lot of agent-centric language and like distributed network language. They are not much Holochain based, blockchain specific. So anyways, I'm just like showing it that this is starting to happen. This is still like a version 2.0.2, but I think I'll ask whether it's open to sharing, at least internally. But this could help some discussions how to actually get clarity about how REA and holofuel and asset-backed credit could be interacting meaningfully. Yeah, anyways, sorry for the detour. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, anyways, but this is, I'm kind of muddying it up, but yeah, I guess if we get to the basics, the very basics, so I guess there is some kind of, one kind of accounting is accounting for the offers and requests, and there is some units of account to account for the price, right? Offer and bid. And then there is a way how to actually compute some transaction fee that can go to the operator of the network, right? Which is again, like, that can be Holofuel in this case for simplification.
Like here, you could pay to have an auction made, but for you, right? So I'm not 100% positive on a fee-based okay, let's see. And I'm not convinced that fee-based hApps to only provide the infrastructure, the computing infrastructure are going to work really well. Like Holo works well because it's really difficult to provide the service that Holo is providing, which is doing all the networking, routing, like all that stuff. It's difficult to create another Holo, but it's not difficult to clone a hApp at all. So if you are doing some fee-based, like if you want to participate, you have to pay this fee every X. Okay, but I think you need to answer the question, why can't someone just clone the app without the fees? Right? So what's the service that's really being provided? And maybe the answer is no, the service that's really being provided is the auction mechanism, right? And those nodes that are always online that are doing the auction for people. So maybe people pay for the auctions and that's it. Instead of doing fees, right? Not sure.
Yeah, and I guess like big part of the actually the centralized like logistics module was the optimization, right? So, and this is what perhaps I'm mistaken, but when you were speaking about the servers, like in the university or stuff or somewhere, and now when you're speaking about the auctioning node, couldn't this be a similar mechanism that there is like how high-powered compute node, which is a part of the hApp, but the algorithms are proprietary perhaps or something? Yeah, well, that's not actually making much sense.
No, I think it does. I think it does make sense. So you could have a Holochain node on the same computer as another process, and the Holochain node talks really closely to this other process, and this other process is the one that does the computation. And the Holochain node is just the input output for that. The advantage that you get is that Holochain node is participating in the network with everyone else. So results are directly published or accessible by other nodes.
Jakub, I myself need to leave in 4 minutes, 8:30. If you would like to continue more the session, I can transfer the host to Guillaume or one of you, up to you.
Yeah, I will also need to leave perhaps a bit after half. Half past. So I guess we can use the rest of the time just to like summarize or clarify what can be if you wanted to continue the discussions, then what I can propose is that I can bring in Robert, which has been working with the actual like algorithms and backends and integrations to like really provide crisp use cases of Corp also. And then we can have more material, and we can also try bringing in Victor and others who are actually also thinking about those local so that we could have clarity about scenarios. And
Jakub, also Rafi working exactly on the same product. You can talk to Rafi, and I think they have something, because mostly before designing something, for sure you need a business workflow, business model for the things happening, you know. So the business model, it means from a logistic, what logistic you would like to work on. So, and it is really important question. Would you like to adopt your logistics based on the Holochain possibilities, or you would like to see if Holochain is good enough for your logistic? You know, it means which one's supposed to be dynamic to support another one. You know, maybe you are going to do something, and right now maybe it is a little bit hard to do with the Holochain, or maybe you would say, okay, you know, it means business flow is really important. Some diagram, some chart, who is going to be the owner of marketplace, or so on, so.
Yeah, I guess it's also related to like what is the actual value proposition related to the actual current centralized models that the Web3 agent-centric based solution could bring, which, yeah, I guess that should be the win-win-win for all of the stakeholders, right? So the drivers and the capacities being used, and also kind of protecting from the centralized uber extractive ones, then also yeah, I guess that's so. But I think like the Free Circle guys are committed to exploring whether Holochain, because the kind of the intuitive understanding is that this is the like way to go, and to explore how this could be like really opening up new ecosystemic like interactions and circularity and stuff, blah blah blah. Utilizing the local currencies or complementary currencies. So I guess there is commitment to explore how Holochain could like really, be doing that, or how we could be doing that with Holochain. And also whether there might be, and again, that's another conversation perhaps with Eric, but whether there could be like closer cooperation between Holo and Holo ecosystem and this, or whether it's just like decoupled and we would be just using the Holo fuels. Yeah, I guess that's a different discussion.
I love the names you wrote here, Victor, Rafi, and of course you mentioned maybe you can create a consortium to make this actually the logic and yes, and anybody else can easily join and see. And personally, I would love to support anything I can do to support this one, because I'm sure if you reach to a good scenario and solution for the logistic or any module or something, it's gonna be using easily for other apps also. Wow.
Yeah,
Love it.
because I just realized that we are speaking with Armillaria, and they have like a large co-op of like different fisheries in the whole Mexico. It's the biggest, well, one of the big ones, and they actually are now like looking into this, so also possible use case scenarios. Yeah, great. Thank you very much, guys, for the engagement and for the discussion. Just until the next time, if and when we meet, if or when we meet, what do you think would be a good thing to prepare or to focus on? Just for me, to have some inputs prepared, for example.
You first of all contact others. So contact others to see what others have that they can bring on the table. Especially, I know about the Rafi that they reached to the good position of the product. For sure, delivery should be part of it. I'm not sure how much they had the progress, but I think they had also delivery option. But ask them. Also, they have a Discord. I can share with you. You can join them, and you can ask Rafi directly.
For me also, any clarity on, like, I know it's difficult because you're just exploring options
Mhm.
and seeing what Holochain, like doing things the Holochain way changes things. But any clarity around, okay, are we doing auctions, or are we doing a centralized matching big thing? Or are we just doing peer-to-peer, which is the first one that matches my requirements goes? These are all really different to develop and actually to architect. Maybe each one of these is a full zone, a full module, right? Or maybe they are even swappable. I'm not sure. But yeah.
Okay. Great. And sorry, just one last question to clarify. When you say DNA, so it's kind of a running, well, it's the logic, right? It's the logic where the rules are encoded, but then I instantiate a hub from the DNA, and the DNA is running the DHT.
Yeah, so for me, the DNA is the delivery matching DNA. And then you clone the DNA to have a DHT for Liechtenstein, and you clone a DNA to have a DHT for Barcelona, and you clone the DNA, right? And you have the separation of concerns based in locality, which is what you want.
Yeah.
Bye, Hedayat. See you.
Hey, thank you, Hedayat. Bye-bye. Great, thank you. Yeah, that's great. Cool. Okay, so I guess we can continue, like, if we want, or have some insights or on the Discord or in the Miro board.
Yeah, cool.
And then I can propose, or we can like schedule some session either inside or outside of the Holochain-in-Action meetings.
Yeah, amazing. Things are moving in the area space. So first prototypes are being worked on, and the libraries seem to basically be ready to start that experimentation. So yeah, that's a thing to take into account to start, because if area is ready, then a lot of code is already written for you in the back, right?
That's great. Super cool. Hey, so thank you again, Game and Matthias.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't have many input.
No worries.
Maybe
I mean,
next time.
Feel free to, if anything pops up, then just like ping it into Discord or the Miro board. But thanks for listening.
No, that's perfect. Thank you. Like it's valuable either way to have another set of eyes, and like context is really important. So no worries about that. And thank you, Jakub, because this is really important for me. I have the feeling that we need to be shifting much more to a problem-based approach or need-based approach than from hey, what you wanna code today approach, because a lot of that ends up too abstract, too in the air, and not grounded in real solutions. So what you're doing is really necessary.
Yeah, thank you.
In the Holochain ecosystem and in general, right? So yeah, thanks.
I'm really glad to hear that, because I'm always saying like, I'm just like, and what you are doing is the, yeah. So it's good to hear that this can also hopefully be of some. So thank you, guys. So
amazing.
See you. Hope soon.
Yeah. See you, Jakub and Matthias, and thanks for this.
Yeah. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.